So now we are all set. We have our studio, our tools and Git installed. So start a new project. So I just clicked new project on file. Our studio is organized around the idea of projects. Projects combine code and maybe papers and documents all in one neat place. Think about it like a project, like a directory folder or something. So now we don't start from scratch because we want to reproduce something, and what we want to reproduce is on GitHub. So it's on our brand new organization repo page. So this is TR266, our wonderful collaborative research center, and German universities doing research on corporate transparency and taxation. And this wonderful research initiative has a new organization homepage on GitHub, and on this homepage there is not that much currently, but there is this repo. And this repo here with the wonderful acronym TREAT is a repo for reproducible empirical accounting research. Again, if you're not into accounting research, apologies, but I think it's still interesting for you to take a look on in this repo, and to understand how it's been structured. So now we clone this repository. That basically means, so we copy it on our local computer and put it under version control. So for this we have to give a directory name. Normally I would give the same name, but here, just for bells and jiggles, I call it accruals. So accruals are an accounting term, a very specific line item within accounting what accountants care a lot about. So now we have to store it somewhere, and I like to have one folder named GitHub where all the GitHub projects that I'm maintaining are being listed, but of course you can do this differently. Now we are basically set up, and what happens now is that our studio is cloning the project from GitHub, so from the web, into our own local directory. This takes a while depending on the size of the project that you're cloning, obviously, like every download process. In this case, it also takes a while, simply because our poor virtual environment here is relatively slow. But now you see that it's downloading all the files, and he's doing this step by step, but not really important how it exactly does it. And now you see that in a second we will have it downloaded. Now it switches into this new project, so it basically changes the folder, and then you will see that now on your local computer you have the files that you've seen on GitHub. So let's take a look. So it takes a while to boot up, and then we can compare the file structure that we see here now in the bottom right plane. And you see here there's the README file, and this is the same README file you've seen on GitHub. It doesn't look as nice because it's not been rendered, but it has the same content. And here you see in the folders, so for example the R folder actually has the data, the code, the programming code. Here for example is a snippet of R code that downloads data from WRDS. So if you are an accounting researcher, you most likely know the Wharton Research Data Service, and this is code that directly downloads data from this service into R. Yeah, so which is really convenient, I have to say, and we will be using this in a sec in order to download the data that we need for our little toy research project here. So this is it. Next step will be, getting the packages and then actually running the project. Okay, perfect. See you in a bit.